All right, today we're jumping into one of the most dramatic stories you'll find anywhere. It's a tale from the book of Genesis, and it's got everything: love at first sight, a bitter family rivalry, and a shocking betrayal that literally sets the stage for a whole nation. Let's get right into it. So you have to wonder, right? How does one family's incredibly messy, complicated love story become the very origin of the 12 tribes of Israel? Well, it all kicks off with a guy on the run, a meeting at a well, and a deal that goes completely disastrously wrong. So let's set the scene. Our main character is Jacob, and when we meet him, he's basically a fugitive, showing up in a new land with absolutely nothing. And, like in so many great stories, his entire destiny is waiting for him at the local well. Now, this isn't just some casual hello. Jacob sees this woman, Rachel, coming with her father's sheep. All the other shepherds are just kind of standing around, waiting for enough guys to show up to move this huge, heavy stone that's covering the well. But Jacob, he sees Rachel and he doesn't wait. He's so captivated that he just walks over and, in this crazy burst of adrenaline, rolls the massive stone away all by himself so he can water her flock. The emotion of this moment is just off the charts. After this incredible feat of strength, Jacob tells her who he is, that he's her cousin. And then he's so completely overwhelmed that he kisses her and just breaks down and starts weeping. This is way more than a simple greeting. It's an immediate, powerful connection that's about to change his entire life. So this really powerful first impression gets Jacob a warm welcome into his Uncle Laban's home. He's treated like one of the family. But if he wants to stay, and more importantly, if he wants to marry the woman he just fell for, he's going to have to strike a bargain. And here's where the drama really starts. See, Laban has two daughters, and the text goes out of its way to draw a sharp contrast between them. There's Leah, the older one, who's described as tender-eyed. Some people think that meant she had weak or maybe just unremarkable eyes. But then there's Rachel, the younger one, who's flat out called beautiful and well-favored. And right from the jump, Jacob only has eyes for Rachel. So when Laban asks Jacob, "Hey, what should I pay you?" Jacob's answer is simple. It's direct. He says, "I'll serve you for 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." That's the deal on the table. 7 years of his life, of his hard work, for the woman he loves. And this little detail tells you everything you need to know about how deep his feelings were. I mean, 7 years is a long, long time to wait for anything. But for Jacob, it just flew by. The text says the years felt like but a few days for the love he had to her. That's how completely smitten he was. So those 7 years are finally up. Jacob has kept his end of the bargain. Every last day of it, he goes to Laban and says, "It's time, give me my wife." The big wedding feast is prepared, and the moment Jacob has been so patient for has finally arrived. Or so he thinks. Just try to picture this. Jacob's done his 7 years. Laban throws this huge party for the whole community. Then, at night, when the bride would have been totally covered in a thick veil, Laban brings his daughter to Jacob. And it isn't until the next morning, when the sun comes up, that the awful truth hits him. He wakes up and he's lying next to Leah. You can just feel the white-hot anger and the utter betrayal in his words when he confronts Laban. He says, "Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?" That word beguiled, it means to be tricked, to be deceived, to be conned. After 7 years of faithful service, Jacob has been played for a fool. And Laban's excuse? Oh, it's a real piece of work. It's as infuriating as it is convenient for him. He just says, "It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn." Really? If that's such an unbreakable rule, you'd think he might have mentioned it sometime during the last 7 years. It's a completely transparent, self-serving lie. So this deception, it's not something they can just argue about and get over. It creates this deeply painful and complicated family structure that's going to last for decades. Jacob is now stuck, bound not just to one sister, but to both of them. Laban, being the master manipulator he is, sees another opportunity here. He says, "Look, finish the week-long wedding celebration with Leah. After that, I'll give you Rachel to marry too." But, of course, there's a catch. The price is another 7 years of labor. Jacob is completely trapped, and because he's still so desperately in love with Rachel, he agrees. And this is what sets up this central, agonizing conflict in this family. Jacob obviously loves Rachel more. The text even says Leah was hated, which, in this context, really just means unloved or less favored. But then, in this huge twist of fate, God sees how hurt Leah is and allows her to have children,
while Rachel, the beloved, beautiful wife, can't conceive.
So now, the rivalry between the sisters completely transforms. It's no longer just about who their husband loves more. It turns into a competition over who can bear more children. Every single son that's born becomes another point scored in their constant struggle for love, for status, and for security in the family. What's so fascinating is that you can literally track Leah's entire emotional journey just by looking at the names she gives her sons. With her firstborn, Reuben, she's hoping, maybe now my husband will love me. With her second, Simeon, she's basically saying, God heard that I am unloved. With her third, Levi, she's desperately hoping that one more son will finally bond her husband to her. Each name is just this heartbreaking cry for Jacob's affection. But then, with her fourth son, something big changes. A fundamental shift happens inside of her. She names him Judah, which means praise. And her reason? It has nothing to do with her husband anymore. She just says, now will I praise the Lord. This is a huge turning point. Leah finally stops trying to earn her validation from Jacob and starts finding her worth somewhere else entirely. So we leave them in this impossibly tangled situation. One husband, two rival wives, and the very first children of a family that was founded on a lie. And believe me, the rivalry between the sons of Leah and the future sons of Rachel, well, it won't just divide a single household. It's going to shape the 12 tribes of a nation. This messy, painful human story is really just getting started.